Niall, I can only say what a week for Wexford hurling.
It's been very good. It's been very good. I think the biggest thing that's come out this week is we've learned to win. With ourselves going to Parnell Park the other night, the big thing is we haven't been winning enough. We won last year and people said it was lucky, but we won with a bit of comfort the other night, made it tough at times. And tonight again, the lads, it looked like they just didn't know how to win for long parts of the game. And as a few people have said, it was sweet that when it was 15 on 15 that they were able to close out the game and win what was a close game, because we've had a lot of near misses. The Miners lost there lately by a point in a game that they should have won. So it's good to see that at the end of this week, it's a great week for hurling, that we have 2 wins at the end of it. We've had a number of weeks like that where we've had 2 losses and we're saying if only and what ifs. There's no what ifs tonight.
Well, in fairness to yourself and JJ, one of the big things that was probably missing was a bit of silverware and closing out games against the Dublin and Kilkennys. What have you done that's different, or is that a fair question to ask you to allow us to do that? Because that made an awful difference tonight, the 21 win, winning a Leinster title going into tonight.
It does give a boost. The only thing we've said to the lads is, over the years, and you were involved with underage teams and Liam has been involved with underage team, Martin Story, they've got some great preparation. We're getting absolutely fantastic hurlers, and all we're saying to them is that if you work hard, if you work as a team, if you take the right options more often than not, you're not looking for a perfect game. If you get a perfect game, great. But what we found, the night we played awfully here, taught us an awful lot of lessons. In the last 20 minutes, there was a lot of selfishness, a lot of fellas going back doing their own thing. We told them if we went into Parnell Park and start doing that, we'd be beaten. We had to play as a team, and I think we had 2 or 3 wides for the night. More often than not, the right option was taken, and I think a pure example of that tonight was Jack Guiney. I think this time last year Jack Guiney would have gone for his own scores. Tonight he hit a marvellous crossfield pass here to Harry Keogh, ended up in a goal. He had 2 or 3 times where I thought he was going to shoot, he put a perfect low ball into the forwards. That comes from just fellas believing that, look, it doesn't matter who scores, it's about the team, it's about the team performance. And when you get guys with the ability that we have in the county at the moment, both senior, under 21 and even minor, I'd argue, able to play as a team and taking the right options more often than not, you are going to get a belief then, the knowledge is there that they can get across the line then, because they're doing the right things more times than not at the right time.
Yeah, and I was just thinking from the under-21 point of view, Niall, is it hard, you know, you've players probably in the senior panel, you've players going left, right and centre, is it hard to prepare teams that way, or have you had a problem with that this year? It hasn't shown now.
It can be frustrating at times, but all we can do is control what we control. We are in a great position that we have 9 guys involved with the senior, so it's not like they're messing around or they're not doing the right things. They're getting top class training with the seniors, as we can see. So we know when they come back to us, they're in a good position, they're training well and all that. All we can do is work with the guys that are there and make sure that we can keep them improving, keep them going to the right standard. We understand that when the lads are training, we're not asking them to come back in and train with us, but what we do need to have them is in with us so they can see the other guys putting in an effort. And I think one of the biggest things we had this year, we went down to play Waterford in a practice match and we were in consultation with Liam Dunn, and Liam said we weren't to play the players, which was fine because they had an important match coming up. But we won a match, but the work ethic of the rest of the team that night, we beat Waterford and the boys worked so hard, and I think it made the 8 or 9 lads that were at the senior squad realise that to get back in onto the team, or for them to be sure that they were going to stay on the team, that they had to work that hard. And it has benefited us in some ways. We'd like to have them all the time, but they understand that we're not going to kill them, that they train, and be it now when the club championships come back on, that if they're training and playing with their club and doing the right things, that we will not take them in and expect them to run and train flat out the same as the rest of the guys that maybe haven't had as much. The other thing I think that we've said to them all along is we're going back and we're watching with the clubs. If they aren't performing with the clubs and if they're doing things with the clubs that we don't like, we're getting on to them. So we're expecting lads to be performing well every time they go out, and if you get lads consistently performing, to go back into a match, then they're focusing more on the performance than who they're playing, where they're playing or what they're doing. Some of it seems to be coming true slowly but surely. Seems
to be working. And the last question, Niall, is we have a serious breed of player, I think now, which has been moulded by the likes of yourself and JJ and Tommy and the boys, to say that we can go out and win a Leinster title on Wednesday night and 2 of those players come out and give performances like they gave tonight. That takes a serious focus and a serious dedication to what they're at.
It does, but it also takes exceptional individuals as well, and I think They are serious hurlers, but they're exceptional individuals. They look after themselves, they mind themselves. They could have gone celebrating for 2 or 3 nights, and maybe a few years ago, or go back a number of years ago, that would have happened. They didn't. They looked after themselves, they mind themselves. They met up with the lads a few times, all right, but they minded themselves and made sure they were right, because that was a heavy night tonight. And still you had Conor McDonald and Liam Ryan still going as hard as anyone else at the end. Like Liam Ryan in particular played the full game in extra time last week, played the full game during the week, and comes out played the full game in extra time, and he was no worse than any rest. I saw some of the Clare players down struggling more than he was. So I think, as well as being exceptional hurlers, they're exceptional individuals who now realise what's involved and what's needed to get to the top, and they seem to be making steps towards going to the top. Yeah.
And the All Ireland semi-final, Niall, is a couple of weeks' time, is it?
6 weeks' time, the 23rd of August. It's a good wait again. Munster is only coming to semi-final this week, so we've got a 6-week wait again now this year.
Niall, congratulations, great week as I said earlier, and it's onwards and upwards for us now.
Please God, it's, as you say, it's been a great week for Wexford, so hopefully it'll keep it going for another while.